Got it. All right. Welcome back to Live with Jane and Jody. Today's Tuesday, June 17th. It is summer in Phoenix. It is hot. Watch out.
Hot. Yes.
Holy moly,
Yes.
stay hydrated, folks. All right,
Yes.
so
Yes.
we have a great conversation today with one of our graduates. She's from Kansas. This is exciting. I did a sneak peek at their website. Oh man, this practice looks amazing with so many naturopathic doctors practicing there. So, real quick, let's do some intros. First, please be aware when you join us, we are recording this session, but you are free to join, turn on your camera, ask us questions, drop questions in the chat. Feel free to join the conversation. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jane Voorhees. I'm one of our admissions representatives here, helping candidates get ready for a successful interview. Once you submit your transcripts, you are working on your application, I am here to help answer those questions, make sure you feel well prepared and ready to go. So I have been with Sonoran University currently since 2019. So good, solid 7 years now under my belt. And prior to that, I was here also from 2007 till 2013. So cumulative, I love this place. I'll be here for life, right? It's what it feels like. So anyhow,
Hmm.
that's a little bit about me. Let me introduce my partner,
Awesome.
Jody.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Jody Durham. So like Jane, I'm one of the admissions reps. I work with the beginning of the alphabet, so A through L. Originally from the Midwest, came out here from South Bend, Indiana, about 24 years ago. It's been 24 years. I just thought about that. 2002. I've been with Sonoran since 2006. So this will be my 20th year this year. So that's amazing. So I've seen a lot of students come into the program, go through the program, graduate, and now talking to alum. So
Yep.
absolutely, I love what I do. I can't stress that enough. I still look forward to coming to work even after 20 years. So hopefully, Dr. Mahoney will be able to give you lots of great information today. So sit back and, like Jane said, ask your questions and enjoy.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to start us off by sharing a core value. Core value, of course, is beliefs of our institution. So today I did pick We Love by practicing inclusivity, embracing diversity with kindness, respect, and understanding through self awareness, recognizing our inherent biases to expand our capacity to serve, by projecting positivity, providing hope and encouragement, and through compassion, serving individuals, communities, and humanity. So that's We Love. So
Very encompassing. I love
Love.
it. Yeah.
awesome.
We
That's
love.
what we just
Yes,
ooze
we
it.
do.
I like
Yes,
in
we do.
all aspects, like so
Yeah.
many areas.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's such
yes.
a good one.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So a little bit about our special guest today, Dr. Jenalee Mahoney. Currently, I don't know if she's going by Dr. Zeller yet or not, but
Yeah.
we all knew her as Jenalee Mahoney. We're excited to
Correct.
have her. She is originally from Kansas, graduated from SCNM in 2022. That was right before we became Sonoran University, I believe.
Mhm.
So we'll stick with SCNM for today, but she is now again practicing in Kansas City Integrative Health. I did a sneak peek earlier, would be happy to even share my screen later as we get deeper into conversation and look at what that practice looks like. Outside of work, her hobbies include working out, weightlifting, running, and spending time with her little girl. Super awesome to hear about her being a new mom and the challenges of being a new mom. So we're excited to have you today, Dr. Zeller. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank
Dr.
you so
Yes,
much
Mahoney.
for having me.
absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for
Absolutely.
having me. This is fun.
My
Yeah.
first question though is, do your patients call you Dr. Mahoney or do you go by Dr. Zeller? Like, what do you prefer
Yeah.
today? Yeah.
I love that you guys are calling me Dr. Mahoney because it's like a shift backwards. I'm like, what? I go by Dr. Zeller now.
Okay.
So I've
Okay.
been a Dr. Zeller for I think over a year now. So yeah, I had to get used to Dr. Zeller. So now kind of going back, it's like, ooh, that feels weird, Dr. Mahoney now. So it's kind of funny how a lot of our listeners will make the shift maybe one day. Some people choose to keep their
Yeah.
own.
Exactly.
their maiden name. So yeah,
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Zeller. Yep.
Yeah. Dr. Zeller will always be Jenalee Mahoney to me.
I know. You're never gonna
We
learn
go
it.
way back. We go
We
way
go
back.
way
So
back. We really, really do. Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
good to have you here. So
Yeah.
I'm going to jump right in. I usually
Great.
start the conversation with our docs to get the audience an idea of what brought you to naturopathic medicine. How'd you get interested in this profession?
Yeah. And this is such a like loaded question, and it might be for a lot of people, but like many people, I sort of chased what was going on with me, right? I had my own digestive um symptoms, concerns, and it got labeled with IBS and kind of scoped both ways in the conventional system. And conventional docs were like, nothing's wrong with you, nothing's wrong with you, right? So what did I do? Like most people do, they start doing their own research. They start doing their own
Mhm.
digging because I knew I didn't feel right. I didn't feel good. And so in that research, I didn't actually come across naturopathic medicine first. I came across, I think, functional medicine, and I started
Okay.
looking into that a little bit, and eventually decided to further my education in functional medicine. And what I noticed was all of my professors were naturopathic doctors. And so I'm
Mm.
like, well, what is this? Right. And then when I started digging into a naturopathic doctor, because out here in Kansas, nobody's heard of what is naturopathic
Right.
medicine, right?
Right. Right.
Um, so when I quite literally read the profile of what a naturopathic doctor does and what the focus is and root cause medicine and whole person type medicine healing, I was like, this is this is true medicine. This is what a
Yeah.
doctor is. And I want to do that not just for myself, but for people because of the the kind of journey I had taken and sort of not gotten any answers, and so I wanted to provide people faster answers. And if they come to me with IBS, I'm like, that's not your conclusion. This is where we start. This is where we actually dig into what's going on, because as we know, IBS is just, hey, if nothing else is wrong with you and you still have symptoms, we're going to call it IBS, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where we begin, right? As naturopathic doctors is, okay, that's the label you're going to carry. Let's dig in. And so I arrived eventually at naturopathic medical school, because I wanted to become this type of doctor.
Nice.
Your
Nice.
original undergrad,
Hey,
were you on a
Yeah,
pre-med path originally,
yeah,
or were you, what was your
yeah.
background education?
Yeah, so undergrad, I originally thought I was going to become a dietitian, and then I was like, I don't know if this is quite the mark for me. I ended up majoring in human nutrition and gerontology, so that was my undergrad. So human nutrition was a focus for me because the one thing I couldn't do was eat anything I wanted to. I had
right.
digestive
Right.
issues. So what did I hyper focus on? Why can't I eat these foods, right? Why does
Mm-hmm.
this make my stomach hurt? And so I was like, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to start by majoring in nutrition. Well, I didn't figure it out after that point. So I was like, let's do more education. And so then I got my master's degree in human nutrition and functional medicine and started getting a taste of naturopathic
Yeah.
medicine. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my background a little bit. In there somewhere,
Yeah.
I went to did some military. I went to the Air Force Academy. I kind of have a little bit of a little glittered past, but after high school, I went to the Air Force Academy, had my digestive issues just worsened. And so I ended up leaving the Air Force Academy and seeking out help for myself. And so I started majoring in all these like nutrition fields and things like that, and finally wound up trying to doctor myself, right? That's how I
Yeah.
wound up at SCNM or Sonoran
Yeah.
University. I'm glad
Yeah.
it's posted
Awesome.
behind you guys both so that I can remember to call it Sonoran. Yeah.
Right, right.
Well,
Yeah.
tits. Yeah. So you've gone through now your master's and you realize your professors are in this naturopathic. So now you discover, wait, there's other schools out here. So did you apply to all the schools? Tell us a little bit about how you just selected SCNM at the time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think I quite literally Googled the naturopathic medical schools and I saw all of their locations and I started kind of pushing some out of the focus because I didn't want to be in cold weather. I didn't want to be in windy weather. I wanted to be in sunny, hot weather, bright, shiny skies. And so I thought, well, Arizona sounds nice. I mean, I'm coming from Kansas, so I don't want the wind. If I don't have the cold seasons, I'm totally fine with that. And
Yeah.
let's go check out SCNM and let's go check out Arizona. And I literally fell in love with it the first time I stepped on campus. And so, to be really honest, I sort of focused on SCNM after that. I just really liked it. It was a great school. It was pretty, the location was nice, and the weather was going to be fantastic. And I knew if I was going to have to be in medical school and working my booty off, I at least wanted sunny skies and a feel good temperature around me. Now, you guys probably think it's like scorching hot. I don't know, but I liked it.
Yes.
I liked it. Um, so that really, I think, had me focused on SENM. I think I tried to go see the school out in Chicago, and we were having really bad snowstorms, and my flight got canceled. So I was like, sign, don't need to see at school. So I think I did try to navigate to other, schools, but eventually I really did. I found SENM and I also found Jody and I loved Jody.
Yep.
And so I
Mhm.
stuck with Jody. I really did. That's
Yep.
kind of how it worked out for me. The ball got rolling in that direction and I was pretty glued to Sonoran University. Yeah.
Yep. I think at that time I was working with last names A through M.
Yes.
And then it got so much. But I think you and I had this connection right away.
It was.
I'm listening to your story, and I don't, some students, I mean, that's what Jane and I do is,
Yeah.
we develop this friendship that,
Yeah.
you stay in touch even after being gone since 2022. You
Yeah.
still stay in touch.
Yeah.
I still think of you all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I see you on my Facebook,
I know,
so
that's what I was gonna say.
you and I just connected right from the beginning. Yeah.
It
So,
felt right. It felt like
yeah.
Jody was like family, like immediately. And I was like, I
Yes.
want to be where
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah. Yeah. You're so sweet. So, yeah. Yeah. Those connections are important to us. They really
Yeah.
are. They really,
And
really are.
It carried through, right? Like I know our next
Yeah.
question on the list goes right into academics, but coming here and being on the campus, how easy was it for you to connect with your cohort, your classmates?
Yeah.
Like what was that energy like for you?
Yeah.
Oh, I think like any new scenario, you're all new together, right? So I can remember meeting everybody for the first time. There was something we went to before school even started, and I remember everybody was like circled up and kind of staring at each other, and you're kind of looking around the room going, who's going to end up being my friend? Who's not going to be my friend? Who am I going to get close to? And everybody has question marks like that. And you're all sort of feeling the same
Yeah.
thing. And that's what's cool is you're all going through the same stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually, like the natural process always unfolds and you find your people in the courses. You sit down somewhere and that becomes your spot. And then the people around you become your best friends. Like that's probably how it worked is you just kept showing up and you kept sitting in the same spot because we all naturally do that. Do you notice that about yourself? Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you go to a spot,
Absolutely.
like right, we all like kind of
Absolutely.
let's just go back here because it feels comfortable because I did it yesterday.
Right. Right.
And then those people end up becoming quite literally your best friends, or then you start, getting into other courses and you sit in a spot and then those people you really connect with. So I think although entering any sort of unknown situation has some fear with it, comes with some fear. Everybody's feeling that way, and eventually as things unfold in their natural habitat, you get close to the people you're supposed to get close to.
Yeah.
Now, that said, there was a girl in my class who, the very beginning when I was in that circle, I like made eye contact with her and kind of was hearing her personality. And I was thinking, we're going to be like really close. I never got close to her. So when we were taking boards, and I still loved her personality like the whole 4 years I went to school. And so when we were taking boards, I went up to her and I sat down. We were done testing. And I said, I always thought we were going to become so close, and we never really did. And she looked at me and said the same thing. So
Wow.
it kind of gives me goosebumps still today, but it can kind of miss like that, I guess, too. If you don't maybe make a point or make an effort to get to know people you think you want to get to know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jill. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Good perspectives, and yeah, help honestly put everybody's mind at ease for a moment of you're not
yeah.
alone. You are not alone. Everybody is going through this in this moment. So
Right.
just breathe,
Yeah. Yeah.
get through it.
And that circle you're probably talking about was probably our meet and greet
Yes.
before orientation,
Yep.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, and that's the whole reason why we hold that particular meet and greet is
A good
so
one.
you can meet each other for the
Yeah.
first time,
Mhm.
and you
And
make those connections.
for all the single people listening, there was, I think, a couple, um, yeah, two from my class, two couples that met that first day during that, and they are married today. So
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
never know
Yeah.
what's going to happen at
Yeah.
that meet and greet.
There's
Exactly.
so much love. That was the perfect
The
core value,
love,
Jody.
yeah.
So much love at Sonoran University. Oh, it's
Exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, let's go. Let's trigger down to the program, the academics part. So,
Mhm.
was the program as hard as you thought it was going to be? Was
Hmm.
it harder?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the expectation I had matched reality. I really do think that. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew I was
Okay.
going to have to study my booty off, right? And I did because I also set the standard that I wanted to be graduating top of my class. I wanted A's all the way through. So I was ready to work hard. And that was the standard that I set. And that was what was necessary also to perform at the level I wanted to perform at, right? Everybody has kind of a different agenda whenever they enter med school. And so I would say, yeah, I mean, it's not easy. It's medical school. It's not supposed to be easy. It is
Right.
hard. If it wasn't hard, we should probably question that, right? It,
Exactly. I
it's
agree.
it's hard because you're learning a ton, and you're learning a ton about how to change people's lives, and that's really important, and you do that in 4 years. So yeah, it is going to be challenging, and it is certainly not going to be easy, but it's a challenge that you rise to. It's a hard that you can get through because again, everybody else is doing it too right beside you, and you don't have to
Exactly.
learn everything at once. You learn it in uh, it was it quarters? Yeah, quarters, 15 quarters. You learn
Yeah.
it in quarters, and it's literally one quarter at a time, and you're just biting off chunks. And then all of a sudden you're like, a year went by, 2 years went
Yeah. It
by,
goes so fast.
4 year you're done. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, we did all of
Yeah.
that. So I would say
Yeah.
I think it was the level of hard that I was expecting.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
not harder, but I was ready for it to be
Okay.
challenging. Yeah.
What do you find on that same question? What do you feel was the most challenging for you?
Yeah. Balance. Oh, that's exactly what I should say here. Balance.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It kind of just came to me. Balance, because I'm super type A, right? Like even some of the listeners will be not all of my classmates were super type A. So if you're not super type A, that doesn't mean this isn't for you. You can literally be whoever you are and get through this. But I was super type A, and as all of us type A people know, that is completely a double-edged sword, because we're like fully focused on just school. And I would see like some of my friends doing more stuff with the friends that they have met, and I was studying.
Great.
Like on weekends, I was like, I'm studying, right? So maybe the balance was challenging, and something I think I love fitness. I love to work out. Like that was the person that stepped into SENM, and I think a part of that I got lost a little bit. So I talk to my patients a lot about identity and like who do you think you are, and um it's really core, I think, to what happens in our life is how we identify and whether or not we're ready to be confident in that space and own it. And I think what happened in med school is I lost that part of me who was working out regularly and loving fitness. And so as I look back on that 4 years, I'm like, oh, I was missing a part of me. I really was. I kind of let that part take a back burner. So I think balance was probably the hardest part for me. I should have shoved that in my life a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay.
Prioritize
Okay.
it.
Very good.
Very interesting because we asked like the next question I've got is like, well, did you have life out of school,
Right.
outside of school?
Yeah.
Did you try? Did you realize like towards your fourth year, like, okay, I gotta start working out. I gotta get back out there and meet a couple people or something. Or you're just like, I just gotta get
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Where were
I did
you?
both. Yeah. So the first 2 years are more like the gen med stuff, the really kind of getting your foundation as a doctor, right? So I
Right.
think you have to study quite a bit more, and then the last 2 years you finally get into clinical rotations and you're doing more patient care. And so the load changes a little bit. There's still a lot of time spent prepping and working and learning and all the things. But I think in my later years, I had met more people, and so we would do more things on the weekends together. It wasn't a ton more. Maybe I'd pick one night to just relax a little bit. I had a friend, she and her husband, they actually came married and went to school together. They were some of my best buds, but they would always have me over, and we'd cook a meal or something and just kind of sit. They had a hot tub, so we'd sit in their hot tub and we'd just kind of relax the night away. So I made more time for those things, and then I would feel more recharged for the week ahead
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
And so again, back to the balance thing. I probably should have done. I should have focused a little bit more on balance, and maybe I would have been a little bit, I don't know, better off, being so far away from family in med school. So yeah, balance your lives well. Go hard in the areas you want to, and then save a little time for working out and friends.
Very good.
Well
You
said.
have to.
Mhm.
You have to take that me time.
Yeah,
All of us do. Not
yeah,
just being in med school, working here. You have to have that me time.
yeah,
What what balance can you find that this is my time,
yeah,
So yeah, that's important for all of us. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Would you do it all over again?
Yeah, this is such a funny question. Um, I would probably never do it twice in one lifetime. That's what I think I'll say.
Okay,
I'd probably
okay.
not do 4 years of that in a lifetime, but if I had to relive this life over again, I would do it again. Okay. The result is great. The doctor that I am, I love. I love what I know. I love what I learned. But if you told me today that would have to go back and do it again, I might push back a little bit, right? I might hesitate if I had to do it all
Okay.
again. Is that fair? I think that's
It
fair.
is. It is. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The
We'll
result
see
is
you
Tough.
in
It's
5 years
tough.
and you'll have another doctorate under your name of education or
Yeah.
something else. Yeah, yeah. You say that today, but you watch. You are driven. That type A. Something else is going to pop on your radar. And yeah,
Hmm.
surprise and lo and behold. And yeah, she's going to have another doctorate
Yeah.
behind her name soon. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see
it
it.
maybe like an online PhD or something I can just like do in like pieces or something.
Yeah. Sounds
I don't
like
know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty set with it. Yeah, I'm pretty busy with, career, motherhood,
yeah.
extracurriculars. My life's pretty good right now. I don't know if I would
Adorable.
want to go
There you go.
back through.
Good for you.
Adorable.
Good
Hmm.
for you.
So
Awesome.
education wise, like when you were graduating, did you go into a residency or were you ready to get back to Kansas? Did you do residency?
I did in Kansas though. Yeah.
Awesome.
Uh,
Okay.
Ooh,
So the place where I still work at is where I actually did my residency. So
Nice,
yes,
nice.
it unfolded perfectly. There were only, I think, two residencies I was interested in, but I definitely wanted to get a residency just to kind of bridge the gap, right? That was important for me to bridge the gap, to still hold my hand a little bit while I learned to actually like be a doctor. I
Oh,
wanted that. And so, yeah, I applied to Kansas City Integrative Health. They were having an opening for one resident. We now have two residents, so it's kind of neat.
wow. Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
And so I applied and we liked everybody liked each other and I'm still there. So it
Mm.
worked out well for me. But yeah, I definitely wanted a residency.
that
Very
truly is
nice.
perfect. How exciting. And that it just really just fed right into your home base. Like it truly
Yeah,
wouldn't have
exactly.
been.
So
Hmm.
it was pretty funny because when I was interviewing, um, as you naturally do, you like look at the website just like you did, right? You're like, where's this place
Yep,
at? What
yep,
do they
Yep.
do? And so when I was looking around at places I might like to do my residency, I of course researched and did all my research and I was noticing like, okay, women's health, gut health, metabolic health, this place fits. And at the time I was like, oh, even fertility is interesting too. So I was like, this place really fits. And so then you kind of write all your letters like, I want this, this, and this and it was writing it from the heart. And I remember in the interview process, they're like, well, it looks like you're a perfect fit. Did you go to our website? I'm like, of course I went to the website. I know you're a perfect fit. You're perfect for me, right? But I was a good fit for them too, because we just matched in what we wanted to do for and what populations we wanted to see. So it was a pretty good fit,
Wow.
but it wasn't super close to home. Um,
That's what I was gonna
yeah,
ask.
it wasn't
That's what I
actually
was gonna ask.
super. Yeah, it was still
Okay.
about 4.5 hours away
Oh,
from
wow.
where my now husband, but at the time boyfriend,
Mhm.
lived, and also my parents, and so it was
Okay.
still about 4.5 hours away. So I didn't get to come home that terribly often. My residency program had me working on Saturdays a half a day, so I couldn't like sneak home unless for whatever reason I had an off Saturday or something, and I ran home real quick for a day or something like that. But so yes, I still
Okay.
had a little bit of time away from home. Yeah.
But even in
Okay.
allopathic
Okay.
world, that's what resident positions are, right? The crappy hours, the worst shifts, all of that. So
Yep.
it's totally
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
resident position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It,
Yeah.
and it is like that. And some people might think, you don't get paid a ton in residencies. You don't in any, right? Whether you're a conventional resident or
Right.
naturopathic
Right.
resident, you're not getting paid super well. But the good thing is it's not forever. And the even better thing is it truly bridges that gap. So when you complete
Okay.
your residency, you feel like give me anything, I'm ready. Like I
Yeah.
didn't feel like that
Yeah.
when I first
Yeah.
walked out of med school, right? Um,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm a little bit nervous. What do I do now, right? And so
Mhm.
having that residency and just somebody, some people might ask, well, what is a I can't talk. What does a residency mean? Like, what do you do? Well, you start out usually shadowing for a period of time, and then you finally start taking your own patients. But each patient you see, you are prepping with a doc that's already on staff, right? So there were several docs on staff at the time, and I was prepping the patient up with them. So I would prep, and then I would talk through what I thought I should do for this patient. And then what's amazing is these really seasoned docs are like, "Hey, also think about this for this patient, or also think about this." And so you get to put your own spin on things, and then you just get like little nuggets for the whole time. Nuggets are just fed to you. And then of course we all have our like treatment notebooks, and you're just like filling it in, right? Like, ooh, I'm gonna do
Wow.
this. If I
Wow.
ever see this on my own, I'm gonna do this, right? And what's really cool too is those people now all become mentors for you. And if you ever run
Cool.
across a patient and you're like, I've never seen this condition, I know this is what we learned to do in med school, but what actually works? They'll be able to answer that for you. And so it's really neat to do a residency and watch yourself grow. You think you grew fast in med school, do a residency.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well
Was it a
said.
1 year? Was it a
Mhm.
1 year
I did a
residency?
1 year. I did a 1 year
Okay.
residency. Some people do
Okay.
2 years.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
don't do a residency. I wouldn't say you have to do a residency. Check in with your personality type, I suppose. I
Okay.
wanted to do a residency for sure. But for example, the owner of the clinic, Jane, that you really thought was nice clinic, she didn't do a residency. She jumped straight in
Okay.
to
Okay.
opening her own clinic, and I would say she's one of the smartest people I know. So you
Wow.
don't have to do it.
Sure,
It
sure.
just
Wow.
you have to check in with your own, I would say
Yeah.
personality type. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know Jane and I recommend it for
Yeah.
comfort purposes. So when you mentioned coming out of medical school, you were very nervous, and I can imagine you being like, "Oh my God, am I prepared to do this? Am I prepared to be a doctor?" But
Yeah.
so those nerves, once you get that residency under your belt, do you feel like those nerves kind of went aside and you're like, okay, I
Yeah.
got this. I know how to treat a patient, diagnose. I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, I would say you're kind of annoyed with having to prep now at some point. You're like, I don't need to prep this person. I got this. I'm good.
Yeah.
I got this
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you maybe just
Nice.
check in for a more difficult patient to see if you
Okay.
can gain any more knowledge. But yes, absolutely, there was a striking difference between, ending med school and ending residency and the
Okay.
growth that I had made.
In
So,
1 year.
yeah.
Fantastic.
And even
Fantastic.
here's what's also kind of cool is the people you graduated with. So those who didn't do a residency, they kind of reach out to you and say like, what are you doing for this type of thing? And for you to be able to say exactly what you would do, it's like, man, I actually do know exactly what to do in this situation.
I'm pretty smart now.
Mhm.
Well,
Well,
you're smart anyway, but yeah.
a part of being a doctor is becoming, competent, but also confident.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
adds to that idea, that identity. Let's come back to that identity of yourself that, man, I can do this. When I graduated from school, med school, you're kind of like, this is scary and I'm not sure if I know what I'm doing. And you also want to fill the shoes that you do know what you're doing, right? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
you're treating people. Um,
Right.
and so there's some of that apprehension that I felt coming out of med school that I didn't have anymore coming out of residency.
Very nice.
Do a
Very nice.
residency.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well said.
You know, I want to touch a little bit on maybe our curriculums have shifted a little. When you were enrolled, did you do a lot of field observation or was it straight up clinical hours? Like, 'cause now I feel like they do clinical or a lot more clinical connecting and networking throughout
Right.
their curriculum. And I don't know, was it embedded in yours as well?
Um, are you talking about things like offsites?
Well, not just your offsite hours, but the opportunity for the networking of like how to establish that relationship with that clinic before you even graduated, right? Or did you just learn about that clinic in Kansas when you were going to full residency? Where today I feel like a lot of our students are starting to see those opportunities well before they would be applying for a residency. So I'm just
Right.
curious,
Yeah.
how
Right.
much networking was involved in your curriculum back then?
Probably limited that I did. Okay. But I
Mm,
also was pretty
mm,
hyper focused. So um I knew also that I didn't want to go. I was either going to do my residency back in Kansas or I was going to do it at Sonoran. That was it.
mm,
Like I wasn't
mm.
going to go yet to another location because my objective was I'm trying to get back home because I want to settle down and I also want to have a baby because my clock, it was ticking. I wasn't super young when I went to med school.
Mhm.
So my my baby, she's almost 2. I had her at 39, okay? So I knew that turnaround time. I was like, I need to get back
Right.
home. There's stuff I got to get done. So I didn't want to
Yeah.
go to yet another location. I wanted to get as close as I could to home. Um, so I would say I probably didn't do as much networking as maybe some of my colleagues did do. Because, I know a few of them that got linked up with where they ended up doing their residency like second year. And I was like, how did they do that?
Mm,
Right.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so I would say probably different journeys for different people. I didn't do as much as some of the other people probably did. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I love that you have those resources though, because that's
Hmm.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that it's great that they're building it right into the curriculum. Like some of your hours are this, get
Wow.
out there and see other clinics and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Shadowing.
didn't have
Yeah.
it like that.
Yeah.
It was just going to be
Mhm.
organic, or you ran into somebody and somebody knew somebody like that. It definitely
Mhm.
wasn't baked into our hours. So very
That's good.
cool. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
neat.
Very
Good
nice.
opportunity there. All right, so I'm excited. Let's talk about this amazing practice that I spotted. So it's clearly a joint practice. I mean, I think I saw at least seven or
Yeah.
eight naturopathic doctors there.
Um,
Everybody have their own specialty. I'm sure you guys see everything pediatrics all the way to geriatrics. Like, give us an
Yeah.
overview of this amazing practice.
Yes. So we see pretty much everything. All of us are a little bit different in what we kind of focus in. Um, but ultimately, it's pretty big in women's health. The owner does a ton of fertility, so she sees a ton of women. And when we look across kind of the age range and the gender, we do see like probably 80% are females. And the age range is anywhere from probably largely, I would say 20 to 55 or 60. So we're seeing kind of say that's pretty good age range. But yeah, we see everything. I do a ton of women's health. I do a lot of gut health for obvious reasons. And I do weight management and metabolic stuff as well. Dr. Ruse, the owner of the clinic, does tons of fertility, women's health kind of overlapped there. There's another doc on staff who loves to see autoimmune. And then another gal who loves to see like thyroid stuff, but also other things, right? So you're not, even if you're like, I love to see um, thyroid stuff, doesn't mean you're not going to get like a PCOS patient or something like that. Because
right, right.
yeah, so we definitely see all the things. There's definitely some conditions. This is like a perk as a doctor that you don't want to see, right? So there's some things that you're like, I don't want to see, and so we have a wonderful front desk staff, and I think they literally have sticky notes on all of us, like Dr. Zeller she loves to see these things. She does not want to see these two things or whatever it is, you know.
Right, okay.
So
Good.
I think
Yeah.
so whenever somebody like calls in and they are doctor shopping, they're like, you want to see this person because they love to see this, or whatever it is.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great though.
It's more
Yeah.
You
set up.
know,
Yeah, to have that
that's
screening
nice.
process and to really guide your patient to the best choice for them as well.
Yeah,
Big deal.
exactly.
Yeah. And then we do free consult calls. I would say most clinics do that. A little free 15-minute consult call to make sure you are a good match for each other. That
Yeah.
that what you're bringing to me, I can completely handle. And if not, maybe I know a person in the clinic that would be a really good fit for you. So we have a couple male docs on staff too. So some men who come, they want to see men, right? And oftentimes it doesn't matter. I always tell women like they're really good docs. They can handle this too. So yeah, but we quite a few docs on staff, and I would say many of them have been excellent mentors along the way as well.
Lovely. That's so great.
Very nice.
And does everybody kind of operate in the same process once they come through that front desk? They've got like a 45-minute intake, or is it an hour intake? Like, what's your process with a new patient or established?
Yes. So defined patient time. So new patients, 90 minutes, follow-up patients, 45 minutes. That's the max time that you spend. Some patients take less, some patients take up the whole time. Oftentimes, I would say that's kind of different than conventional care. We're seeing patients for multiple things, right? They usually don't come in and say, I just have this one thing. It's usually I have brain fog, I have fatigue, I have irregular menstruation. Oh, and I'm bloated all the time. And also I'd like to lose 10 pounds. It's like all of these things. And it's like, okay, let's see. And part of being a doctor too is saying, you know, let's handle these top two things today and really dive in and really try to get to the root. And then as we work together, we can get to the other things. Because if not, guess who it's overwhelming for? Your patient. Your patient. So, yeah, kind of knowing how to guide them into, or ask them to, what's your highest priority? What's the one thing that you just want to go away today, and then work on that. So seeing all the things is, good and not great, because you have to kind of get them
Work on
focused
it
a
a
little
little
bit.
bit at a time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So
Yeah.
how do you guys acquire your patients? Do you do a lot of marketing or is it
Yeah.
mostly word of mouth? I've heard both from different offices.
Yeah. And I think it has been both and over time. So, we have Dr. Ruse opened her practice 13 years ago. So the clinic is 13 years old. I would say probably in the beginning, she did a lot more marketing. She still does marketing now, but a lot of it is word of mouth. We're one of the bigger clinics in the Kansas City area. So I get a lot of patients that say like, so and so referred them,
Right.
to the clinic or whatever. Um, so I maybe some of you saying that you kind of hear both is the trend where that clinic is and
Right,
its
right,
trajectory, right?
right.
We just actually started marketing quite a bit more on social media. That was a space that she
Okay.
hadn't tapped into yet, and I was like nudging her, like, we got to get into this space, right? Because definitely the listeners are definitely probably going to be users of things like Instagram and TikTok, and they want to see us,
Absolutely.
right? They want to
Yes,
see us show
yes,
up there because that's where they're getting
right,
their information. So
right.
nudging her, we got to get in this space, and so we've arrived in that space now
Nice.
too. So yeah,
Fantastic. Awesome, awesome.
Good,
yeah,
good recommendation. And I did also check the map. I see that Kansas is green. It's a regulated, licensed state. Like, so talking of scope of practice, here, of course, at Sonoran, that's one of the things we love to brag about is that we include Chinese medicine. We include so many amazing tools, the minor surgery, some unique things. Are
yep.
you able to use all of those modalities that you were thoroughly trained in?
No, this is such a sore subject because
Oh, no,
um,
it is what it
let me,
is. But how do
well,
we expand it, right?
I know. So, we've been heavily involved with expanding our scope. So the main thing we can't do is prescribe, okay? So we can do pretty much everything else. We can't prescribe, we can't do minor surgery. I'm not trying to do minor surgery in most of what I do anyway, so I'm okay with that one, but I'd love to be able to have prescribing rights. Um, so that one we're working on. We're actively involved in legislature, and we made it all the way to the House, and there was a tie vote in the House for giving
Mm,
naturopathic doctors prescribing rights. We were so close. Tie votes lose in the
yeah,
House.
yeah.
Probably political. We won't get into it,
Mhm.
but yeah. So that's probably one of the things that is sort of frustrating. I'd love to be able to handle some of those aspects of care when you do need it. You don't always need it. And I would say I've been doing fine without it. But every once in a while, you're like, okay, we want, here's our treatment plan. We want to do this pharmaceutical, but we want to do all these other things. And now we've got to chat with, I've got to get you in with another provider for another office visit to just do this one thing, that would be super
Yeah,
simple. to prescribe.
Yeah.
So
That's what I
yeah,
was going to ask because there's, like you said, there's times you have to prescribe something,
yep.
so what do you do then? Do you have somebody in the office that has prescription rights or, do you
Yeah.
refer them out?
We have to refer them out. Yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
that's the other thing. It's called corporate practice of medicine, and they are not allowing us to do that, which means currently we can't actually be under the same roof as nurses, nurse practitioners. We can't be in the same
Interesting.
business. So that's unfortunate. And hopefully, because we can't get prescribing rights, that we can at least get corporate
But,
practice of medicine in the very near future, like within the next couple of years,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
hoping. So
Just
stay
don't give
tuned.
up on that
Yeah,
legislation,
yeah,
I
just keep
know.
fighting, keep fighting,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's maybe one
yeah.
thing I would say to the listeners too is get involved in school. I kind of started getting involved in when I was in school, and I was happy that I at least had my foot a little bit in this space. I probably should have done a lot more in this space because it's a big deal to be real active, and to
Mhm.
push for things that you want, because the whole idea is to be able to give your patients all of the tools when they need
Mhm.
them, right? That's the whole reason we go to SCNM and have full scope and learn full scope, right? Is to be able to use it. So
Right,
yeah.
right.
So get involved. And that
Yeah.
was that an act or what's the best group like student club to be a part of, do you think, when you say get involved in
Oh,
those types of things? Advocacy is what I'm thinking. Is that what
is
group
there
is
an
that? I'll have to
advocacy?
look.
Um,
Um, I'll have to look. I'm glad that you
I
said that
don't
though.
know. Yeah, I'm not sure if
Okay.
there's an actual club. It would be
I
amazing
remember like
if there was.
DC Fly, right? What group used to
Yeah,
go
Yes,
to
DC
Washington
fly.
DC and do that
yes,
talk?
yes. I never actually got
Um,
to go to DC Fly because COVID hit when I was in school.
Mm,
And so I think we were all signed up, and something changed with COVID, and then we went home. We actually, during my 4 year stint,
yeah, yeah.
we went home for, was it 3 quarters? Do you remember
It was
that?
a while. We went
we were
home
a
in
remote
2019, wasn't it? March of 2019.
We were
2020,
remote for like
2020.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 or 3 quarters. So
yeah.
um yeah, that was in there somewhere. That was a lot of time. But I got to come home for a little bit
But
of time.
yeah, that was kind of good. Strangely, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. Well, we
Great
appreciate that feedback.
information.
Like, just I love you saying like, "Hey, get involved in legislature now or
Yeah.
whatever." And so, from my perspective, if I'm talking to candidates there in Kansas, like they're the ones that have to have that zip code that should be signing those bills or putting a voice out there, also, right? So I will
Yeah.
be happy to share and suggest that and promote that as
Yeah.
well, if it's
Yeah.
aligned.
Or even too, if they get in touch with some of their local naturopathic doctors, they can get them headed in the right direction, or invite them into, meetings or discussions about certain topics that are relevant to the state, because
Right.
it's different for every state. I know nothing about most of the states, right?
Right.
Uh,
Yeah,
I know more about
yeah.
Kansas.
Mhm.
So
Right.
yeah, getting involved in the state that you want to end up in is really important, because it's all
Yeah.
different. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't really keep track of it all.
Yeah.
So you guys got a hard
Exactly.
job.
Just because the map shows that that state is green, you are
Mhm.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Kansas right next to which are like all very
Yeah.
different from
Yeah.
border
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
border. Very
Yeah.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Because your
Yeah.
license doesn't mean, it's green, but there's probably also an asterisk beside it.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. 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 Does your office allow shadowing opportunities for
Yeah.
students,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
prospective students?
absolutely.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good,
If
good.
anybody's interested in shadowing virtually or in person, call the front desk staff, call the phone number.
Okay.
Just, you can jump on our website and give them a call, and yeah, we're all happy to have people shadow and learn and listen.
Good to
Yeah.
know. Good to know. Good
Yeah.
to
Very
know.
nice. I was just curious too of the around regulation and that kind of thing. Do you guys take any type of form of insurance or is everybody cash paid?
Question. Yes, we are a cash pay clinic. So I tell all my consult calls, that doesn't mean you can't use your insurance, but for the office visit portion, That is cash pay. A lot of people have HSAs these days, health savings accounts, and
Mhm.
they're using those
Mhm.
funds to pay the office visit. And there's always an opportunity for to pay up front and then request what's called a super bill, and for patients to submit that super bill to their insurance for possible reimbursement. It's more hit or miss.
Right, right.
But for labs, it's a little bit different though. So we do a lot of lab work. We're trying to find root cause, so it makes sense to look into labs. For labs, we usually use Quest diagnostics. Are you guys familiar with Quest? Is that something that you're familiar with?
Mhm. Yeah.
And Quest is going to submit those to insurance. So most of the time, and patients are using insurance to cover lab work. It's just the
Yeah.
office visit that's usually out of pocket. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. All right, my dear. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years, where do you see yourself?
In a
And where
bigger
do you see the profession in 5 years?
Yeah. Where I see myself in 5 years, I jokingly said a bigger house because that's our 5-year plan.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I do see myself maybe venturing away from Kansas City Integrative Health and starting something local because so
Okay.
what I haven't said is, and what maybe isn't very clear is I was in Kansas City on site for my first 2 years with the clinic, and then I stepped away and came back home finally. So
Okay.
I'm in Hayes and I just do telemedicine. So Hayes,
Okay.
Kansas has kind of Western Kansas is an untapped population. They don't
Ooh,
have really access to naturopathic medicine. So you know how we have those like small voices within us, like, do this.
Yeah.
But then you're like, shush, I don't have time right now.
Mm.
Shush, I'm too busy right now. Shush, whatever it
okay.
is. So that's a little small voice that's like, you should do something in locally. And so I've actually talked to Dr. Ruse about this, and she's open to letting me kind of venture and stay on with KCIH. So we don't, that's something that will is
Mhm.
brewing. And
All right.
Okay.
maybe part of the
Awesome.
5-year plan is to
Super.
bring this medicine to people more
That's great.
locally. So that's
Awesome. I love it.
yeah, so that's maybe something I would absolutely love to have more of an integrative practice if that were to come to fruition. We'd have to work in legislature a little bit more on some of those arenas. But yeah, something like that is probably 5 years.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I have a good couple of friends. One's super tapped into the fitness space. She has a site called Muscles Are for Moms, and we've become really good friends. And we also have a friend who's very active in marketing and business and things like that. So something with those girls might brew too. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. Something will change probably
Do
in the
it.
next 5 years, but I don't know.
Just do
I know.
it.
Good job, Jody.
So scary.
Good job, Jody.
Scary,
Yeah,
right?
Just
yeah,
do it.
yeah,
I
just
know.
do it.
I know.
Awesome.
Love
Awesome.
it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine.
exciting.
And then you said the other question for the profession, right?
Yeah, where do you see the profession in 5 years?
Hmm. Maybe more well known in these like areas that
It's gotta be, right?
it's got to be
It's
that.
got right.
Because here's the truth of the matter. People want our medicine. Not everybody
Mhm.
knows our medicine exists.
Exactly.
Jane, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
There,
we've
yeah, there's people around here that doesn't know this big mammoth huge school is right here on Broadway, you know? And
yeah.
it's like, how do
This
you not know you are 3 miles down the road? How do you know we're not here?
yeah.
So
That
yeah,
building
I
you
agree.
drive by, that's it.
I
That's a,
know.
like, oh
It's a
yeah,
hidden
you're
gem here
I
in the
know.
desert.
I
Yeah.
know. It's a gem. Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's got to be our part too, right? As that's something I've done here more recently. You'll see me more on social media because I really wanted to say, I really wanted to be the person that exposes naturopathic medicine in Western Kansas because it's
Good.
people, my friends, they're like, you're a what do you
Yeah,
call yourself?
yeah, yeah,
And that means you do what now? Oh,
yeah,
I usually get, oh, you do essential oils. And it's like, that's not all that, it's like, no,
yeah,
yes, we do herbal care, but let me tell you what
yeah.
I do,
I
right?
know, I know, I
And
know.
some people call me a homeopath and just that, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, well, we learn homeopathy, but
Yep.
that's not all that we are. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
the unknown. People want what we do because they're always saying, they're complaining that their doc's not doing enough. They're asking for
Yeah.
certain things and their doctors won't order it. They're getting calls on their labs and they're just saying everything's nice and normal, but nobody's walking them through anything. And they're not talking
Mhm,
about
mhm.
optimal range, like all the things. And it's like,
Yeah.
you want us. You want what I do. I promise.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
How do we simplify that? Like you said, let's use
Yep.
TikTok. Let's use certain ways to show them how simple it can be. Like here's a different option. This is what your doctor says. This is what your doctor could be telling you. Something. How do we create that? We
Yeah.
are we are
Exactly.
right there with you, Dr. Zeller. Trust us. Like,
Exactly.
we've been in this
Exactly.
industry now for 20 plus years.
Yep.
Yeah, we want
Yep.
it bigger
Yep.
and bigger
Yep.
every day. We are there with you. Oh,
Yep.
That's
Yep.
so
probably
much
Yep.
that's
more.
probably an advantage of the listeners though, right? Is they
Right.
know exactly how to use social media. They grew up with it.
Oh yeah. Oh
My
yeah.
my age, we didn't grow up with this stuff. Like, do you guys remember MySpace? Anybody know what that was? Like that was when I
Yeah.
was in college.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we're still
Yeah.
working on getting to know all that
So
stuff.
funny.
The listeners will have this down and be able to
Oh
market,
yeah.
educate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Be really cool.
Right.
Okay, ladies, we have 2 minutes. What words of advice would you give these listeners in this room that are going to watch this video once it's recorded and posted, embarking on this journey? Words of advice.
Yeah. If it's a little voice in your head, you probably should do it. Talk to naturopathic doctors, talk to conventional doctors. Ask them what they do day to day. What do when they see a condition, what are their tools? Go to the school that has the tools you want to use to treat patients. That's the big thing. I tell my patients this: find the doctor that has the tools that you want to use to treat you. And I would say that to the listeners is go towards the school that has the tools you want to use, right? Don't not do it because you think it's hard. It is a hard that you can do, I promise. You do have to be focused. It's not college, right? College, we could be a little laissez-faire and maybe just get by. It's not that. It is a hard that you do have to dedicate yourself to for 4 years. But if you work on balance, it could be a lot of fun and the result is good. You'll become the person you want. So find the school
Good
you want,
job.
find the kind of
Yeah.
doctor you want, and just get it done. It's only 4 years.
Fantastic. And that
It's
goes
only
fast,
three
right?
years in one quarter. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be
Yeah.
shorter and shorter.
Yeah. It's shorter now. Yeah.
Yes,
Starting in fall.
yes.
Yeah.
Streamlining
Wow.
Yeah.
those clinical hours. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like that clinical is happening earlier. But oh, that was
Yeah.
beautifully said. Thank you so
Yes.
much for your
Yes.
time today. This
Yes.
hour, it goes too fast. We are so grateful for
Yes.
this
Yes.
conversation.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thanks so much for having
Thank
me,
you
you guys.
so much. It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Keep in touch and
Okay.
go do it.
I know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
All right.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Thank you, sweetie. Have a great day.
You
Have a
too.
great day. Everybody join us on July 15th. We're going to have another conversation with Dr. Sintara Bradley.
Yeah.
Thank you so
All right.
much. Bye,
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Zeller.
Zeller.
Have a great day.
Bye. Bye.